Yo, what's good YouTube? It's boardzy, and after my last video, which was a top 5 gaming mice, in this video I'm going to be ranking unreleased gaming mice. This concept, people are always like, how are you ranking mice that don't exist yet? I'm ranking my excitement in upcoming products based on the info that is available now. If that is a crazy concept, if that makes you uncomfortable, don't watch the video, I guess. But for everybody else, this is going to be a lovely video. I just remember there was a lot of controversy on the last one. First mouse is going to be the Ninjutso Sora, which is actually like going up for pre-order the day this video goes live, I think. $95, 43 gram solid shell mouse. With a 3395 sensor. So it's really a Pulsar X2 competitor. It's a similar shape style to the Mini, but of course like 10 grams lighter at 43 grams. And Ninjutso is going to send me a unit, so it looks like it's going to be their best mouse so far, and I am looking forward to reviewing it. Next up is going to be a very different mouse, a 3D printed mouse from Fnatic in collaboration with BMW. I don't know where to put this. At the moment, the mouse is not really released to the public. If you're interested, after you're done with this video, you can go peep the video on Fnatic's channel where they basically made 3D printed mice that were custom fit for their pro players in some fucking esport. But it didn't look to be implemented extremely well, but if they did ever go to mass production with it, it would be pretty cool. And just Fnatic making a mouse with BMW, something about that seems a bit strange. But yeah, I guess I'll just throw it the B tier, I guess. It could be something cool. Next up, Gwolves HTX. This is a under 40 gram solid shell mouse from Gwolves. There's not really as much info on it. This mouse is set to go live for pre-order soon. There's not a ton of info on it. I do believe it will be 4K hertz. I don't know if it'll have either optical switches or USB-C, which I think could like make the ultimate mouse for Gwolves compared to their current offerings. But depending on the specs and implementation, it could be either S or A tier. When I say there's not a lot of info, I'm literally just going off of these two tweets. Gwolves HTX, like a silly eyes emoji. What am I supposed to do with that? I know it's going to be a different shape than the standard stuff. The fact that they're still like blurring out the mouse makes me think it's not too close to like finalized production. But it should be interesting. Next mouse from Gwolves is the HSK Pro 4K edition. They also have a classic edition. This is $180. With the HSK Pro, there is a bit more info since it's already been up for pre-order and is shipping out in late November. I will be getting a review unit, of course, but you can see $180. Same fingertip grip style mouse with lots of holes because it's coming in at a 29 gram weight. So I really do feel like they just went all out in terms of weight reduction. The other specs, 3395, zippy 60 Ms. It seems solid. I'm not sure how like the click implementation, just overall quality is going to be, if they improve the side button design. But the 29 gram weight on a wireless mouse with 4K hertz polling rate, that is just crazy to see from Gwolves. So honestly, even though I know I'm not going to like main a fingertip grip mouse, that is exciting stuff, albeit very fucking expensive. But they do have the classic version for, I believe, $140. Next up is going to be the XM2W, which is going in the XM2W tier. I mean, it's so iconic at this point. The pre-orders went up in May, I believe. I was still in college, and the mouse is still, like, not even clearly in production. It is unreal what Endgame gear is doing. Who knows if it's just all a troll, if the mouse is ever going to release. I have no updates on if I'm getting a review unit, so the XM2W was just an absolutely crazy launch. Each day that goes by, the mouse is, like, kind of becoming less relevant. If they do, like, because of the delay, they managed to implement 4K hertz polling rate, that would be ideal, but I am not going to hold my breath with anything regarding Endgame gear. People have been asking me about the XM1 Mini. Like, the XM2W still hasn't released. I don't know why people would even think about an Endgame gear mouse beyond that. But yeah, the XM2W in the XM2W tier just doesn't compare to anything else. I feel like most people by now are familiar with the Lamzu Atlantis, very similar. I don't know why I'm not using my other camera. But yeah, the Lamzu Atlantis, they're going to make a mini version. This is a pretty large mouse designed for claw grip, but assuming they like scale it down correctly, make the correct changes, it could be a very good small mouse for both claw grip and fingertip. They don't have a lot of info regarding the shape. We can presume it'll be similar specs to the standard Lamzu Atlantis, but it won't be available until 2023, and that's just trial production, so I don't know when like mass production will begin. So if the mini version is still priced at $95, I don't see why it won't be one of the best small claw grip mice on the market. Next up is going to be the Lamzu Wuji, and this is a very weird mouse that I don't feel like a lot of people know about. I'm just going to let this video play in the background while I talk about the mouse. This is basically the most customizable mouse I've ever seen. It has like hot swap switches, adjustable sensor position, a completely adjustable shape. As you can see, the man is adjusting the shape right now. I just have no idea if like how much a mouse like this would cost. We've never seen anything like it, and I don't know if that's for a reason, but it's just a really interesting idea. I don't know about the weight on it, if it's like heavier or something, but I would like to see ideas like this. It's very cool what the Eastern world is doing in the mouse scene with Gwolves, now Lamzu popping out of nowhere. I think there's one more company as well, yeah, like the Arye brand. So yeah, lots of great Chinese mouse innovation, but I don't know about the Wuji. I'm gonna throw it in like B tier because it's not gonna be a life-changing mouse, but it's a very innovative product. Next up is going to be the glorious Model O2. Talk about a non-innovating product. Just a totally scuffed launch. $100 for a 68-gram mouse from Glorious with just their standard Kill 8.0 switches. They finally threw in a 3395, but they didn't put that sensor in their Model O Pro, so it's just very annoying. I could honestly, like, if this mouse never released it wouldn't affect me at all, and I'm somebody who is affected by mouse releases more than most people. But the Model I2, the mouse they actually released the O2 along with, does seem more interesting. I'm going to throw this in the A tier because it's not like an S tier excitement mouse. It's nothing crazy in terms of weight. I believe it's 75 grams, but it is a 3-side button wireless mouse, and I don't think there is another one of those that is as light as the Model I. So don't expect anything crazy, but if you're looking for a stripped-down lightweight G502, this is kind of exactly that. It's not going to have any scroll wheel functionality, no buttons on the main clicks, but it will have some side buttons. So awesome stuff from Glorious, truly. I gave it some more thought, and I'm going to move it down to B tier. Who am I kidding? I'm not really that excited for a Glorious mouse. These next two are very similar carbon fiber mice with no side buttons. There's the Arye mouse, which is a company out of Hong Kong. This is supposed to actually release around Q2 of 2023, and there's no side buttons. It obviously has this very interesting shape with a lot of empty space in the middle of the shell, and it does look to be a very good mouse for fingertip, and it's supposed to be in the low 40-gram range, but I just really don't understand why something like this does not have side buttons. And for the Midnight Thread C1, you can see the specs of it here. They look very solid. This whole carbon fiber mice thing is seeming to blow up. But 48 grams, not having side buttons, this shape with a super weird flare out. I don't know how good this is going to be for grips besides palm grip. I hope to be pleasantly surprised, obviously, and I will be reviewing both of these mice, but I just don't think they're like serious top contenders like most of the mice in the S tier are. So I'm just going to throw them both in like the B tier. There's literally, I'm either extremely excited for a mouse or I don't care at all. That is the general sentiment of this video. Next up is the Xtrfy M8 wireless, which I have been asked about so many times. This one is a proper A tier mouse. First things first, I did pre-order this mouse. I am still blacklisted from Xtrfy units, but that does not stop me from supporting the company. You know, I think I got this retro colorway, but the shape does not look to be anything too crazy to me. They did make emphasis on getting a very low button height, but personally, especially when I claw grip, I am not like, my fingers are not that low on the mouse. So if you can make use of it, it will be cool. I don't like how like rounded and curvy the design looks in general, but it should be a good mouse for fingertip at 55 grams. There isn't much of a back hump. You see the hump is more centralized, so it's not going to have a high profile back for good stability, so I don't think it'll be too great for claw grip, especially if you have larger hands, but it does seem to be the best Xtrfy mouse so far. You know, $33.95, solid shell, but still lighter than all of their other mice. They don't have any stupid RGB. That was something they held on to, but the M8, when I get it, I'll review it. I don't think it will be like my main mouse though, but hope to be surprised by the shape. Now, the Vaxee and Zowie wireless mice, are they ever going to come out? Who knows? Both companies have mentioned that their mice are in development, but nobody knows when they're actually going to release. There was an Apex tournament a few months ago, and there were people supposedly using real Zowie wireless mice that are going to release in the future. I just don't know how much truth there was behind that. But if Zowie does release basically their C-Series lineup, but in wireless form with like lots of improvements around $100, those would be elite. I just don't have confidence that they're going to do that anytime soon. It seems like they're more focused on monitors than mice, and who can blame them? And last but not least is going to be the Viper Mini Wireless, or the Viper Mini Pro, the Viper, whatever it's going to be called. This has been a long-awaited mouse for going on 3 years now, and it seems like the wait is going to continue, because after RazorCon in October, where they did not announce a Viper Mini wireless, there was not much hope for a 2022 release, and on Reddit they said that they don't have much good news when they were asked for an update, so it's looking like a 2023 release. I would imagine the mouse is going to be sub 40 grams with the Viper Mini shape, made out of some type of exotic material, potentially. I just can't imagine what is causing like the seeming years of delays when they could obviously just put a Viper Mini shell with like the Viper VG Pro tech and call it a day. They have to be doing something bigger. I just don't know what that is. But yeah, whenever it releases, it should be awesome. There's like so many conspiracy theories that I have one. I simply do not. But yeah, that's going to be all for the unreleased mouse tier list. I feel like unless you are the most devout gaming mouse follower, a few of these you probably hadn't heard of, so I hope you found some value in the video. And yeah, there is a lot to look forward to late 2022, early 2023 in terms of gaming mice. And throughout the whole video, I was like, I'm missing something. And I look down at my desk and I realize it's the Lethal Gaming Gear LA1, so I'm going to quickly talk about that now. So I've had this LA1 for over a month now, I think. It's actually a pre-production unit, not a review unit. That's why I haven't talked about it. There are still some things that are not finalized, like the coating, which you can see is like an oil magnet, but the shape is finalized, and this is a very interesting shape. As you can see, somewhat similar to the Pulsar X2, but a bit more narrow and noticeably higher profile in the back. It somewhat has a ZA style hump. It does not have the total in-hand feeling of the Zowie ZA, but if you are looking for like a high profile back hump to make contact, this does it more so than the Pulsar X2 Mini and some of the other small claw grip shapes on the market. And for fingertip grip, since it has a narrow grip with pretty flat sides, it's incredible as well. And the button grooves in the clicks, I would say, are the most intense I've felt besides the Xtrfy M8. So overall, really good for both grip styles. The shape is on the small medium end, definitely not considered a large shape. They might do one of those in the future. But yeah, I'm pretty impressed. It is using Huano blue shell pink dot switches. I'm not sure how finalized the implementation is. And yeah, if I did have the little icon for the mouse, I would have put it in the S tier. I think that this is going to be a really popular shape, and when I get a final review unit, I will post a video on it. I think the mouse is supposed to be for sale in December or January, and I'm not sure on the price, somewhere between 100 and 120 USD. And yeah, that's going to be all for this video. I will put links to all available information about these mice. Like I said, hope everybody enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you did, and comment, whatever. Yeah, peace.